We have 3 children and obviously one on the way. Taylor is 6 years old, Isabel 4, and Trevor's 2.5. I think just having this 4th baby really made us think about, childcare needs, and we...
Yeah, the criteria that we looked at, as Stacey mentioned, was the age of the person, maturity of the person, the experience that they should have, prior experience. There was a multitude of choices that we had. The fact that she was a nurse, and we actually looked at that we had a choice. It wasn't, that we had just one person.
And I guess just to have that, the 3rd pair of hands, will help us out tremendously.
We were looking for something that would be in-home care for my kids to be home, to be siblings together, and that I could go back to work.
Yeah, it's like having a cousin come visit for a year. It's they just become part of the family. They help out with things. Sometimes they go do things with you. Sometimes they don't. It's really nothing for a host family to be nervous about at all.
We try to get good families who need good child care, and it's a give and take situation. They expect something from the au pair, and in return the au pair gets to be a member of their family. What better way than to be here with a native from the U.S.
My name is Margaret. I come from Germany. I'm here in the United States since 4 months. I live here in Herndon. It's close to Washington, D.C. And I take care of 3 children. The girl is 7. Her name is Amelia. And 2 boys are Matthew. He is 11 years old. And the other boy is Taylor. He's 12 years old. To become an au pair was, I could start studying in another country. That was the other option. But it was not really living with a family. That would mean living, with other students. And I really wanted to know about the American culture. I said, okay, why don't you get to know America, how it really is, and living with a family? And that's why I chose this. I learned the language. I can study a little bit. I can work together with the children. It's everything on one thing. Everything I like to do, and it's just great.
We are the representative of Euro Au Pair in Japan. To become an au pair, there are some requirements. And first of all, au pairs have to have an adequate child care experience, and of course English ability and good personality. And during the screening test, especially during the interview, we try to see the real personality. We are always trying to know about the applicant more and more, and I want them to know us also, because we support them to go abroad and stay in the United States for 1 year.
You do this psychometric test, and then we have a structured interview, which is done in English as well. The test coming from America, and the interview and the test together will finally tell you if you can accept them as an applicant in your program or not. It's not only us that test their language abilities. As soon as they try to get their visa, they are tested at the American Embassy as well. So there are actually 2 institutions testing their language abilities.
After the au pair passed our screening test, now has to prepare all application documents, and I am in charge of verifying references. First, I verify and talk to them and ask for any comments. I write down those additional comments on the reference sheet in order to introduce the person in different ways to the future host family.
As soon as they are accepted in the program, and the application package has been sent to the United States. We invite them for an orientation, and it's a very detailed preparation for their 12 months in America. So it starts with the trip to America, with the orientation in New York, problems they might face, currency, traffic. We tell them about anything we can think of. And after this orientation, we usually let them talk to ex-au pairs who have been to the United States so that they can ask them what their experience was like. So by the time they finally get on the plane and go to America, they should be well prepared.
I think the first thing when you arrive here is that you need to learn to be tolerant and that you have to work with the family. It's always a give and take. Because sometimes they say, okay, can you work an hour longer? I'm like, okay. And therefore, I have all the weekends off. I can go out and I can get the car. And it's always a give and take. I learned at the beginning that's really not like the schedule, and that you can, that you don't have really a work relationship with your family. You are part of the family, and everybody knows how it is to have a brother and a sister. It can happen something. It's not really like when you are at work that you have your straight schedule, and I do things with them. I go to the pool with them, having fun, and you can go shopping with the children, go eat ice cream, or you go to the zoo, or just go into DC and have a walk or something like that. Like today we go to the outdoor pool and I prepared a picnic for them. For me it's not really work, really not. They invite me to a lot of things. They take me to their friends and they show me their work and they let me know about their feelings, about their past, about their family, and that's really nice. You get really close to family, and I don't really want to think about leaving them later. I try to keep that away.
It is a program for au pairs who come from different countries to the United States for the first time. And what I do is provide them information on child development, child abuse, safety, and things that they need to be aware of while they're taking care of the children. What their needs are. I go age by age, newborn to 11 years old. We also give them information on childhood illnesses in child safety and first aid. What are some of the signs and symptoms that would tell them that children are getting sick? And then, yes, there is an exam on the child development piece that they're required to take. And also, it's a great opportunity for them to meet each other, to kind of give each other support, and to have long-lasting relationships. I just think it's a good tool for them to have before they go on to the families.
I go through a orientation with the au pair. I also am required to do an orientation with the host family, just to go over some things, the rules and regulations, anything. The au pair might have some questions. Host family definitely has questions. And then from then on, I work on a relationship with the au pairs. I have meetings once a month with them. Give them as much opportunity to meet people, meet other au pairs from other countries. We do the typical bowling, the putt-putt golf. Every summer we have a picnic. We have an annual picnic. December we always have a Christmas party. In Halloween we had, here on this deck, we had pumpkin carving. And I also, every once in a while, have things at my home so that they can, have a little one-on-one time with me. I also stress to them that we can have this one-on-one time if they ever have problems with their host family. I'm there for them. I will listen, whatever they want to talk about. And many times the au pair has had something that has bothered her, and she hasn't communicated it to the host family. And we as community counselors, we try to suggest, sit down, talk with them on a regular basis. But, just to let them know that there is somebody else here besides their host family that cares about them. I'm basically their friend while they're here.
It's just great. Life is different. You don't have to worry about things, about the next job or about school, because everybody helps you. Like, I have my counselor when I have a problem. My family is every day is asking me, how was the day with the children? Do you need help? Shall we talk with them? I don't take that for granted. I just love them. They're like my second parents, and my mom is a little bit jealous of that, of course, because I spend more time now with them than with her, but we keep in touch there because we call every week, and I realize that it's getting harder for me to speak German than English, and it's weird.
Their purpose of coming is a cultural exchange. And we stress that they are not professionals that have child care in their background, some kind of experience. They are not professionals. They come over here. They love being with children. Some families, you can tell they're not quite sure what it's going to be like to have someone else in their home. So what I do, I set up a meeting, and I go and I interview the family. And then at that point, if they have questions on the selection process, I give as much guidance as I can at that time. And I meet the children. We're required to have all of the family members there. I want to see that they're going to be warm and include the au pair in their activities. I want to see that the kids are going to want to have this au pair in their home, and one that they're going to be able to work a relationship. Your au pair has a website that is wonderful. It's very user-friendly. So after my interview with them, they will use their password, and they will go in, and they are able to search any age, any nationality, and they are able to look at all of the profiles of au pairs. It's, as I mentioned, tells about the interviewer's comments. It tells that they're healthy, and it basically, it also tells what their experience has been. There's also included a letter from the au pair, and included with this letter are photos. And normally they're photos that show the au pair with children, and they narrow down their choices. And then also what they do is they call this au pair. They're required to call, and you can pick up a lot of information just from that. The enthusiasm that the au pair will have, in coming to be with this family. And they say, we're going to call back. They talk about it, and then they call back and say, would you like to be an au pair with us? And then from then on, it's up to your au pair. It's probably about a 2-month process. And then from then on, hopefully it's a good match and, a wonderful year.
I meet myself with other au pairs, and we try to visit other cities. Like last weekend, we were in Baltimore in the National Aquarium, or we want to go to Virginia Beach just to see a little bit the area around here and a little bit of the culture, and just meeting with other Americans or with other au pairs. And I just love to work with children. I thought a little bit practice before starting the studying, and I just wanted to have a break, to think about my life and what I really want to do. And I think this year is great for that. Even if I don't want to start studying psychology after that, this English experiences, I can use that everywhere, and I hope I don't lose that later when I don't practice anymore. Yes, if you want. And the children help me a lot during the day to talk English all the time, and they correct me. That's very important for me. You get to know people every day. You meet new people every day. They just talk to you in Starbucks, like, oh, you have a nice accent, and you just start talking with them, and you don't have that in Germany. And I'm a very outgoing person also, so I would really miss that in Germany. That's why I would like to stay a second here.
Well, it's a wonderful solution. We've had we've had some wonderful au pairs. They have done wonderful things with our children, and we always seem to get what we need at the time. You know, since the children have started in school, we've had some au pairs that have been absolutely wonderful about getting the kids home, getting them to start their homework, getting it done. You know, they're very firm about it, but have been very, very kind and loving about it too, so that it doesn't become a chore. They just